This video is sponsored by Gamos Metal Cruise 2023. Hello and welcome to Rauta's Underground Trio episode 30. And once again we have three different releases from the underground, most likely most related to black metal, but not purely all that. And this one goes as normal, from worst to best according to my own opinion. So if the best one according to your opinion is here listed as worst, don't take it personally. What matters is what you like the most. This is just my way to rank these ones, so you get the idea what's going on. So first we go to a Finnish black metal release, which is Regere, Sinister, like you would say in Finland, and Reptile Womb. This one has some kind of a, I would say, elementary school looking image. Kind of nice, but kind of a silly in a way, with these kind of a demonic creatures on the cover. And indeed, this one is a split release by three different projects. Three songs each by band, and this is going to more primitive and experimental side of black metal, and might really say this out loud. This is not for everybody. This is not most people out there, and the reason is this: these bands are very experimental in nature and not suitable for even most people in black metal department. That doesn't mean they're shit. It's just something totally different. Now, once this album starts spinning, you will figure out that it started by Regere Sinister, and that is made by two people who have been operating among some other bands previously. Hail Conjurer being the Hail Conjurer once band, but also Ride for Revenge, which is the other band featuring both members. But this is more experimental side of Hail Conjurer without, you know, Harold Mender doing the vocals. And sometimes it's kind of a doom black in a way. It's more like you will notice certain primitive black metal riffs and very rawish, unproduced overall sound here, which is kind of rehearsal room take, if you will. And those three songs are sometimes featuring some good ideas, but sometimes it feels like it's too unfocused, which in my opinion is paled overshadowed basically by Hail Conjurer and Ride for Revenge, while this definitely speaks most likely to the same audience. Kind of okay, but still like lacking some kind of a, I don't know, punch. This is partially done because the sound where guitars and all that's like go too much on the background and as such lack the power. Now Reptile Womb is more experimental than that. It's mostly like some kind of an instrumental sludgy combination, which is that kind of a hybrid that is not purely industrial, totally, not really sludgy, not really black metal, but kind of combination of all these, and has a kind of a rhythmic, almost hypnotic patterns where sometimes the music goes, I don't know, weird ways. Sometimes it's just hypnotic, where it gets you into trance-like situation, but then again, it's kind of a lacking the momentum. It's almost like not trancey enough to go like deep into that segment, or droney, not exactly black metal enough to make it a full metal punch. And in my opinion, that makes this kind of a letdown. It's too much of a compromise, even though it's, theoretically speaking, interesting hybrid. So definitely not for everybody. If you like Regere Sinister, if you like Hail Conjurer, Ride for Revenge, maybe go for this one. Then we have a Moon Oracle, which is very much a sibling release to the previous one. This one album is second album called Ophidian Glare. This also is operating roughly in the same territory, rawish end of black metal, and I kind of wanted to like this so much because now the band is actually evolving, progressing from the first album, which was rather weak, and it's more like leaning towards better directions. However, this time still a lot of punch is missing, and partially for the rather primitive and weak sound. The thing here is, I don't mind if you sound raw. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ildiarn and Sortvokter, and of course early Darkthrone. They all are primitive, they all are raw, they all are like inhumane. This one, however, is just like more like lacking the punch because the production is more like, let's not just use proper equipment and proper setting. Let's just go naturally. And it sounds like a demo level, almost like rehearsal room recording. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with that if you like it. But if you don't, well, good luck trying to enjoy those riffs when they're just like, I don't know, overshadowed by snare drum sounds and vocals and all that stuff. Like bass is dominating more than the guitar riffs. And that becomes a part of the problem. It's not as interesting when the guitars, which are supposed to kind of define the whole structure of the songs and the ideas where the riffs come from, are more like, hey, yeah, let you go background. I mean, you're the main actor here, but go to the background. And that is, in my opinion, a lot of a letdown. It's an okay release, however, but only for acquired taste, mind you. This is almost like giving a middle finger to those who are just like pushing that safe sound, apologetic black metal that, hey, we're so sorry if we offended anybody. Here, have us nuclear blast slash century media sounding black metal that is very woke and nice and all that stuff. Like, this is like the opposite of that. It's like somewhere out rather than safe. And then last but not least, we go to Colombia with a band called King. Now, King might sound a little bit peculiar name for a black death metal band, which this is. But then again, if you really think about it, it's much like Emperor. Just different kind of a title for a ruler. This album is actually a few years old already and called In the Beginning There Was Blood. Very first title and all that stuff. But the band has certain kind of an identity crisis, and mind you, this doesn't come with the booklet. This is how it is. The band doesn't really get to choose whether they're more on the black metal side or death metal side. So they're compromising both sides, and as a result, this is barely kind of a decent-ish of an album. A little bit lukewarm in that segment, because when it comes to death metal, these guys have ideas, but they don't execute it fully. When it comes to the black metal, same thing, but for different genre. And as an overall result, I say, as a black metal fan, as a death metal fan, I'd say I'm a little bit disappointed. The production is very solid, and which kind of gives this album a kick more than those two previous ones, and proves like these guys know how to tune out those knobs and whatever, and figure out how to sound powerful. But when it comes to personality, originality, interesting of those songs or riffs, whatever, it's like the execution lacks. It's more almost like, let's just go fast, let's just go energetic, let's just add some growly vocals and we're done with it. More like, yeah, how about those good riffs? How about the solid songwriting? So even though I would say this King is the best of the pile here, it's still lacking some kind of a interesting material. Surely it got the most punch of this pile, and surely it's on the other side of things the least original here, which is kind of a peculiar that I decided to put it as the best. But if I was to pick one of these three albums, which I would voluntarily play after doing the reviews and all that stuff, I don't want to deny, I don't want to lie, I would say, yeah, it's King. So there you have it. 3 different albums for 3 different audiences. Basically, if you want to go for more experimental side of things, go with this one. If you want to play it raw and kind of a primitive black metal, go with the Moon Oracle one. And if you want to just go black death metal, King is your choice. This is it. The black metal done here. Bye bye.